My stepchildren told me I wasn't worth listening to, so I stopped listening too. Silence taught them faster than lectures ever could. Hello everyone, welcome to Reddit Visuals. I used to believe respect was something you earned with patience and kindness, but I learned the hard way that some people treat your heart like background noise until your absence becomes the loudest thing in the room. I'm 41, and I never thought I'd be the kind of man who wins a fight without raising his voice. I'm the calm one, the guy who fixes the sink before it becomes a problem, who picks up extra shifts so bills don't turn into arguments. I'm also a stepdad, 6 years deep, because I married a woman I loved and promised her kids would never feel like they came second. Their names are Ryan and Lacey. Ryan is 17, tall, loud, thinks the world is an audience. Lacey is 15, sharp, quiet when it suits her, lethal with sarcasm when it doesn't. Their dad lives 2 towns over, pays child support when he can, drops in twice a year with guilt gifts. He gets the smiles. I get the schedules. Doctor visits, parent-teacher conferences, late-night rides, the can you moments that come with my name attached. Their mother, Jenna, is 38. She's warm, funny, but exhausted in a way sleep can't fix because she's always in the middle. Middle of her kids' moods, middle of her ex's inconsistency, middle of my quiet frustration. Jenna loves hard but avoids conflict. When Ryan and Lacey pushed, she'd soften. When I spoke up, she'd say, "Please, not right now." For years, I tried to be steady. I listened. I mediated. I was the translator between teenage storm and adult reality. That's why what happened that Friday night hit me like someone reached into my chest and twisted. We were at dinner. Nothing fancy, just spaghetti. Ryan had one earbud in. Lacey was scrolling, thumb moving like she was trying to escape. Jenna was telling them about my sister's birthday party Sunday, something I'd already RSVP'd to. Jenna's voice was bright, practiced. "So Sunday we'll be at Aunt Lisa's. Backyard thing, burgers, cake." Ryan didn't look up. "I'm not going." Jenna blinked. "Ryan, it's 2 hours." He smirked. "I'm busy." "With what?" Jenna asked. Ryan shrugged. "Stuff." Lacey snorted. "He's going to be on Discord all day." Ryan shot her a look. "Shut up." Jenna tried again. "Guys, it matters to him." "It's not my sister," Ryan said, finally looking up. His eyes were lazy. "It's his family thing. You go." And I don't know why I said it. Maybe because I'd been swallowing disrespect for years and it finally came up like acid. I kept my voice calm. "Look, nobody's forcing you to call her your aunt. Just show up. Be polite. One afternoon." Ryan leaned back and laughed. A real laugh. Not funny, like I'd just done something embarrassing by speaking. Then he said it. "Why are you talking like your opinion matters? You're not worth listening to." The room went still. Jenna's fork froze. Lacey's thumb stopped. Even our dog Duke lifted his head. I stared at Ryan, waiting for him to realize he'd crossed a line. He didn't. Then Lacey added in her dry voice, "Yeah, you're always lecturing. It's exhausting." Jenna's eyes flicked to me. "Guys, stop." Ryan cut her off. "Mom, it's true. He's always talking. Nobody cares." And that's when something inside me went quiet, not angry. The kind of quiet where you realize you've been performing a role for people who never cast you as anything but background. I put my fork down, I stood up, I picked up my plate, and I said, "Okay." Just one word. Ryan looked confused, like he wanted a fight, and I'd refused to show up. I carried my plate to the sink, rinsed it, set it in the dishwasher. I didn't slam anything. I didn't sigh. I just walked out. Behind me, I heard Jenna whisper, "Ryan, what is wrong with you?" And Ryan's voice, lazy, said, "He'll get over it." That night, I lay in bed next to Jenna while she breathed shallow. She whispered, "I'm sorry. They didn't mean it." I turned toward the dark. I heard them. "I'm done begging to be respected." She went quiet. "What does that mean?" "It means I'm not going to lecture anymore." Jenna exhaled like she was relieved. "Okay, less tension." I didn't correct her, because she thought I meant I'd stop parenting. What I meant was I was about to stop engaging. The next morning, the first test came fast. Ryan walked into the kitchen like nothing happened, grabbed cereal and said, "Hey, I need you to take me to Sam's later. I was stirring coffee. I looked at him. I nodded once. Then I turned back to my mug. Ryan frowned. So you can? I took a sip and said nothing. He stared. Dude, are you ignoring me? I kept washing my mug. He snapped his fingers. Hello? Silence. He scoffed. Whatever. He stormed off, wanting Jenna to ask what happened. She did. Ryan, what's wrong? He's ignoring me. Jenna looked at me. Babe? I met her eyes and said softly, I'm not worth listening to. Her face shifted. She remembered the words. She looked at Ryan. Apologize. Ryan rolled his eyes. For what? And that was when I realized the silence wasn't just punishment. It was a mirror forcing them to face themselves. By Sunday morning, the house felt different. Ryan and Lacey were used to me being their customer service line. If something didn't work, I fixed it. If plans changed, I adjusted. If Jenna got overwhelmed, I handled it. Now, silence. Lacey tried first. She came into the living room while I was watching a game and said, Can you sign the permission slip for my field trip? I looked at her. I nodded slowly. Then I kept watching. She waited. You have to actually sign it. Silence. She waved the paper. Can you? I glanced at it, then back to the TV. Her jaw tightened. Are you serious? Silence. She stood up. Mom! Jenna came in. What? He won't sign my paper. Jenna looked at me. Babe, just sign it. I turned the TV down and said, Calm. I'm not worth listening to, so I'm practicing what they taught me. Jenna swallowed. Lacey's face flushed. Ryan, who'd been lurking, laughed. Oh my God, he's doing the petty silent treatment thing. I didn't respond. He laughed louder. This is so childish. Jenna turned on Ryan. You don't get to call him childish after what you said. You provoke someone and complain about the reaction. Ryan's smile faded. Mom. No, she snapped, and the sharpness made them freeze. You've been disrespectful for years, both of you. I've been letting it slide, but I'm not doing this anymore. They stared at her like she'd betrayed them. That week was hard. For me. Because Ryan and Lacey started speaking about me like I wasn't there. Ryan would walk past and say to Lacey, Guess we're raising ourselves now. Lacey would mutter, Yeah, he's so dramatic. They tried to bait me. They wanted the old me, the lecture, the explanation. I gave them nothing, and the absence started breaking their routines. Ryan missed his ride to practice Tuesday. He stood at the door with his backpack, waiting for me to ask where he was going. I didn't. He finally said, Are you taking me or not? Silence. He slammed the door and walked, texting Jenna angry messages. Wednesday, Lacey needed help with a project due the next day. She hovered behind me while I was fixing a cabinet. Can you help me? It's due tomorrow. Silence. She scoffed. God, you're useless. That stung. But I didn't move, because teenagers call you useless while relying on you for everything. Thursday, Ryan's phone service got restricted. Our family plan has data limits, and he'd blown through his streaming videos. The carrier sent warnings to my email since I'm the account holder, but I'd stopped monitoring. He came home furious, waving his phone. My service is off. Jenna looked stressed. What did you do? I don't know. Fix it, he said, tossing the phone toward me. I caught it, looked at the dark screen, then set it gently on the counter. Silence. Ryan's face twisted. Are you kidding? Just call them. Silence. He raised his voice. This is ridiculous. Jenna cut in. Ryan, stop yelling at him. But he won't do anything, Jenna said slowly. He's treating you the way you treated him. How does it feel? Ryan opened his mouth, then closed it. No answer. So he did what entitled people do. He tried going around me. He called his biological dad. I heard Ryan on speaker in the hallway, voice suddenly softer. Hey, yeah, my phone got shut off. Can you call the company? Pause. Then Ryan's voice got sharp. What do you mean you can't? It's literally one call. Another pause. Ryan's shoulders slumped. Okay, yeah. Bye. He came back with that stunned look teenagers get when reality punches them. Jenna asked, "What did he say?" Ryan muttered, "He's at work. He'll handle it later." "Later," Jenna repeated, the word bitter. Ryan looked at me with something new. Not anger, fear. Because he finally saw the difference between a dad who shows up and a dad who says, "Later." Friday came, and the silence was taking a toll on me too. I felt hollowed out. At night, lying next to Jenna, I questioned if I was doing the right thing. Was I being petty? Was I damaging these kids? Was I proving I was better or just being cruel? But then I'd remember Ryan's face when he said I wasn't worth listening to, and I'd feel the sting fresh. So I held firm. That weekend, Lacey had her dance showcase. Big deal. She'd been practicing for weeks. Friday night, Jenna got called for an emergency shift. She couldn't get out. Saturday morning, Lacey came downstairs in her dance clothes, eyes wide. "Mom's working. Can you take me?" I looked up from my coffee. Our eyes met. She swallowed. "Please." There it was. Need. But still no apology. Still no acknowledgement. I felt something crack inside me. This was a kid I'd watched grow up. A kid I'd driven to practice dozens of times. A kid who was scared and needed someone. But respect has to mean something. I nodded once, like I'd heard her. Then went back to my coffee. Her face fell. "Wait, what does that mean?" Silence. Her voice cracked. "You're really doing this?" Silence. She ran upstairs. I heard her door slam. Then quiet. Crying. Jenna came home that night exhausted and found Lacey red-eyed in her room. I heard Jenna's voice rise. "You can't talk to him like that and expect him to drop everything." Lacey yelled back, "He's being petty." Jenna's voice stayed firm. "He's being human, and you broke him." I sat on the couch, staring at nothing, feeling like the worst person alive. Because Lacey had missed her showcase. The thing she'd worked for. Because of me. But also because of her. Sunday, I went to my sister's party alone. Jenna stayed with the kids. My family asked where everyone was. I said they had other plans. My sister pulled me aside. "You okay?" I shook my head. "Not really." She squeezed my arm. "Whatever you're doing, don't break." That week, things got worse before they got better. Ryan's school called. He'd been skipping. They needed a parent meeting. Jenna couldn't leave work. She asked if I'd go. Ryan said, "No." Jenna called his bio dad. For once, the man agreed. The day of the meeting, Ryan got dressed like it was court. He paced. Then, 15 minutes before they were supposed to leave, his phone rang. I watched Ryan's face change. "Are you serious?" Ryan snapped. "You're not coming?" He listened, jaw tight. "You promised." Whatever his dad said made Ryan's shoulders drop. He hung up, stared at the floor. He forgot. After all the talk about real dad. Jenna got home and found Ryan on the couch, staring at nothing. "What happened?" Ryan didn't answer. Then, voice small, "He didn't come." Jenna sat beside him. "And who would have come if you'd asked?" Ryan's eyes flicked toward me for half a second, then away. I didn't say anything. I went to my room, closed the door, sat on the bed feeling vindication and guilt that made me nauseous. That night, Ryan came into the kitchen while I was washing dishes. He stood there awkwardly. For a full minute, he said nothing. Then he muttered, "I shouldn't have said that." I kept washing. He swallowed. I was out of line. You do a lot. Silence. He looked panicked. "Are you not going to say anything?" I turned off the water, dried my hands slowly, and finally spoke. "I listened for 6 years. You didn't." Ryan flinched like I'd slapped him. Lacey appeared in the doorway, eyes red. She stepped forward and whispered, "I'm sorry. About what I said. About the showcase." I looked at both of them. I didn't lecture. I said, "If you want me in your life, treat me like I'm human. Not like I'm a service you can insult and still use." Ryan nodded quickly. "Okay." Lacey nodded too. "And one more thing," I said. "You don't get to decide I'm worth listening to only when you need something. Respect isn't a switch." They both stood there, and for the first time in years, they looked like kids who genuinely screwed up. Over the next few weeks, it was gradual. Ryan started saying thank you without prompting. He stopped calling me dude. He asked if I wanted to come watch him play a scrimmage. Lacey started leaving notes. Not dramatic apologies, just acknowledgement. A sticky note on the fridge. Fed Duke. Another, staying late for practice. And Jenna started setting boundaries too. When Ryan got dismissive, she'd shut it down. Try again with respect. The silence didn't disappear. It became a tool. Whenever they slipped into that sharp tone, I'd disengage. And they learned quickly that respect isn't something you demand while treating someone like air. A few months later, Ryan's bio dad showed up with gifts and a big smile. We were all in the living room. Ryan looked at the gifts, then at me, then said something that made my throat tight. "Thanks," Ryan told his dad flatly, "but we're good." His dad laughed awkwardly. "What's that mean?" Ryan shrugged. "It means showing up twice a year with guilt gifts doesn't make you present." His dad's face tightened. "Watch it," Ryan said, calm. "I am watching. I'm watching who's actually here." I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. But inside, something settled. That night, Jenna and I sat on the couch after the kids went to bed. She said quietly, "I should have backed you up sooner." I nodded. "Yeah." She squeezed my hand. "Thank you for not leaving." I didn't answer right away, because the truth is, I almost did. Not physically, but emotionally. And that's what nobody warns you about as a step-parent. You can live in a house and still feel like a guest. You can give everything and still be treated like you're optional, if you let it. So, was I wrong? For going silent? For letting them feel the weight of their words instead of cushioning them with another lecture? What would you have done if your stepkids told you weren't worth listening to? Drop your verdict in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to Reddit Visuals. It helps the channel grow.